Trying to crash a company's stock for profit isn't a new thing. It's as old as capital markets. But the funniest thing here is this cheap category idiots who earns a living on practices like short selling accuses Adani conglomerate is fraud. This amuses me because they thought they can pull him down just like Trevor Milton of Nikola Motors or SC Works or Genius Brands or Ideanomic, etc. Nathan Anderson, the founder of Hindenburg, over the past few years has made a name with analysis that sends stocks sinking. This blackmailer had successfully destroyed many top companies which were potential to the growth of a country. The world knows America as a home for these unethical businesses and fraud companies, and this is an American firm too. US cannot digest the growth of other countries, so every now and then they employ these cheap category blackmailers to ruin the lives of other countries. So this is just the next target, the Indian industrialist Gautam Adani, a figure even richer than Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. It's a sure thing that they cannot digest an Indian being in the world's top 10 richest man's list. So they employed this fraud Hindenburg to collapse Adani. I'd like to engrave these words in the history books that Hindenburg is a fraud company, because if Hindenburg is really a research company, why not investigate Bill Gates? Adani would nowhere stand in front of what fraud Bill Gates is. We have George Soros, the ultimate fraud. Why not investigate him? This just proves that Hindenburg is not a research and investigative company as they proclaim. They are just a short seller looters who make huge financial gains through unethical calculated securities fraud. Look at this. They are in the list of FBI investigation that has gone on since last year, according to several reports, with prosecutors probing potentially illegal trading tactics. They are also famous as Ponzi hunters. They are not specialized in exposing frauds as they claim. They themselves are frauds. You might have seen this nonsense story everywhere that Hindenburg aircraft disaster is man-made, and hence they named the company after this with a motto of saving people from such man-made disasters in finance. But the reality is, Hindenburg Research is the real villain who crafts the man-made disaster and creates the disaster. A common man can go to their website and check. You will not find any address of the company. Unknown origin. They have asked 88 questions to Adani Group, right? I too have questions to ask you. Do you have guts to answer? What is the origin of your company? Why there is no address of your organization mentioned in your website? Company was started in 2017, but till now only 5 employees. Why you do not have even a single employee more than required to cause a dent to a country's economy? What are the names of your partners? Where can I find your financial reports? There are a hell lot of companies with questionable records, but you choose only few specific companies as target. Why? If you have patience, go through the 88 accusations made by Hindenburg. It's available on Google. 65 of these questions have been answered by Adani Group of companies, and you can find these on their website annual reports. Among the remaining 23 questions, 18 are related to public shareholders and third parties, while the other 5 are just baseless allegations based on imaginary fact. One biggest disappointment for me is Adani answered these buggers. It's not required to give a damn at these buggers. You look at the wiki page, they say their reports are circulated to Hindenburg's limited partners. If you have any ethics, how can you demand or expose internal documents of Adani or any other company for that matter? Who the hell are you? And who are your limited partners? Why did you not mention their names? And they clearly say Hindenburg takes profits if the target company's share price declines. But the reality is, whomsoever you targeted, their share price perfectly got declined without fail. What are your practices to achieve this? Do you know what do they mean by limited partners? Hindenburg will not do short selling. Their client companies will short and they pay Hindenburg some commission. If you look at Hindenburg's financial statements, you will not find any Adani stocks. They are getting paid from third parties. Just by looking at a few lines you have written in your Wikipedia itself, we can find these many flaws. If we look into your internal documents. But unfortunately, these buggers are very well insulated by US government. My prayers to Adani and Modi ji, do not let these buggers survive. This should be the end of Hindenburg. No Indian firm has to give any kind of justification or answer to some cheap category US firm. Oh, then what about the huge losses? $65 billion decline. Adani has to answer. He has only one day. Rubbish. Just about any Tom, Dick and Harry can prepare a report and ask questions. Asking questions is very easy. And when you try to shut their mouths with befitting replies, they play victim cards. Oh, can't we even question? Twitter is flooded with such people. Let me answer you. For those who understand stock market and for those who don't, the stock market's bullish and bearish trends will not affect the growth of a country. There are people who make money and people who sink. If you look at the recent news, Adani Group has purchased Israel's Haifa port for $1.2 billion. Even in times of this kind of pressure, it's not a simple step. Haifa port is on the Mediterranean coast, which is known as the business hub. It's a huge commercial port in which there will be one seaport owned by Bharat.
Haifa port is one of the largest port of Israel, and it is well connected.
Adani doesn't fall. These reports and cacophonic noises by liberandos doesn't affect the growth and future strategies in any way. It's actually the Hindenburg which is at great loss, because even with this well-planned attack, 2 years of planning and nonsense, they couldn't even affect the investors of Adani. Do you know Adani pulled off the FPO even after full subscription and successfully insulated the investors from potential financial losses? Let me give you the comparison with other companies. When Amazon dropped 40%, they removed 10% employees. Google dropped 50% and removed 15% employees. Facebook dropped 60% and removed 20% employees. Adani Enterprises dropped 70%. Not even a single employee lost job. That's Adani. That's Adani for you. Adani is not affected by this hit job in any way. It's the Hindenburg which is most probably crying day and night that they failed to shut down Adani and become a funny character in the social domain. To all the half-baked Indians who are going against Adani, let me tell you, in the US-style shareholder democracy, activist investors, short sellers are a very important part for the ecosystem. But in India, the story is completely different. Adani's investments are mostly domestic phase and their assets. Everything is not acquired by them. For example, the energy park that they are building in Kutch is not acquired by them. Above all, India would need 20,000 crore investments year on year. If people of the country get excited and pull down Adani tomorrow, from where are you going to get these investments? Do you think the Hindenburg will give? What do you call the people who heroify Hindenburg?
चार्टेड ऑल्टरनेटिव इन्वेस्टमेंट एनालिस्ट है। ये प्रोफेशन का नाम है, बड़ा ही हट्टा कट्टा प्रोफेशन है। ये कंपनी कहती है कि इनकी रिसर्च ऐसी चीजों को लेकर होती है जहां पर इंफॉर्मेशन पता लगानी आसान नहीं होती।
A lot of Indians support this crap, unfortunately. Look at how he is projecting this third-grade scoundrel as a hero. To all the Indians who feel smart about saying Adani के पास मिस्टेक हैं, वो आंसर करना पड़ेगा, मिस्टेक नहीं है तो केस क्यों नहीं डाल रहे? Listen, Adani Group is a very strong business pillar and contributes heavily to the Indian economy. But Hindenburg? Tell me, what is the use of Hindenburg to India? A company whose origins are unknown, a company which holds zero credibility, is trying to destroy the Indian economy. And you people spill chili powder on our wounds. This is an attack from UK-based institutions and Indian toolkit operators. Let me make it very clear. Adani is not sinking. India needs a lot of Adanis if you have to make investments in infrastructure. Trend this on Twitter. I stand with Adani. Hindenburg fraud.